Holiday and Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners, Johnny. It's wonderful to, boy, I have seen a few Christmases, like 88 of them, you know.
Yes, you have.
And,
Yes.
oh, yeah, but
yes.
boy, it's always been very, very special. I was born before the war, you know, like 1937.
Yes.
And there was always a strong, strong Christmas spirit in our family. We were Catholics.
Okay.
And my mother was also a French-Canadian Catholic lady.
Okay.
And there's very, very, wonderful, wonderful, deep meaning to Christmas to folks like that. And when I was a little kid, we always had a wonderful Christmas. We were not wealthy at all. Comfortable, maybe middle-class people, but we always had lots of toys and wonderful food and stuff like that. But religion played quite a part in it, more so than nowadays. Christmas is pretty much commercial.
Yes, it is, sadly.
Which is why I wrote my song, Gather at the Manger,
Yes.
to not be so commercial. But anyway, the big thing when my little days was midnight mass. And always on Christmas Eve, the adults always went to midnight mass at the local churches. And my grandfather, who was 80, or in his 80s at that time, mother's dad, it was traditional when they all came home, they'd have a great big feast. And Grandpa would sing "O Holy Night," and he was in his 80s, but he had a beautiful voice and had been a trained choir boy and all that kind of stuff.
Right?
And there was really an occasion to hear him sing that song. And later on in years, I used to sing it myself.
Oh, did you? Yes.
Tribute to him, you know.
Oh, wow. Back to your childhood, what would, we mentioned a little bit about the Christmas gifts and that. What would they have consisted of?
Well, there were always toys.
Yes.
You know, because...
But probably homemade, eh?
Sometimes.
Yes.
Actually, yes, Johnny. I can remember during the war, now this is funny, I can remember there were toys and things were very hard to come by.
Yes.
But my father and one of my cousins, Louis Guerin was his name, they were wonderful, wonderful woodworkers. And they made the most beautiful toys and things for us. I remember they made for my brother Gilbert, who was 4 years younger than me, they made him the most beautiful rocking horse.
Oh, nice.
And this rocking horse was white, and he had the red and black parts on him, so they called him Spark Plug.
Oh, wow. Yes.
You know, and these things were first class.
Exactly. And they meant more to you than the store-bought stuff.
Yes.
Exactly.
Certainly. Yeah. And, of course, the food, a little hard to come by during the war, too. Not that nobody was starving here, but sugar and stuff was hard to get. But there you go. People would hoard up their sugar stamps and stuff, you know, all year in order to have a great Christmas. And wonderful.
And then, of course, you also wrote, we were mentioning about the song Gather at the Manger. How did that one come about, Tom?
Just simply because I thought that people were getting too commercial. They started to use that term, Happy Holidays, which just makes me go, curdles my blood, you know.
It does. Yes.
And I listened to a song by Don Reno and Red Smiley called From the Manger to the Cross.
Yes, I know it well.
Well, that reminded me of the second meaning of Christmas. Like, it's okay to celebrate, but you have to remember that man who you're celebrating his birthday was eventually murdered.
Yes, that's true.
You know, so that's where I got that song, From the Manger to the Cross. Gave me the idea to do Gather at the Manger. So it starts out with everybody coming to the manger, but you have to remember where that leads.
Exactly.
So that's where I got the idea for the song, and it's been relatively popular. The trouble is, because it's not commercial, you know.
That they won't play it, exactly. I understand,
play it very much. There you go. But I want to have my say.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be, exactly.
Yeah.
So, looking back at some of the memories of your dad and your mother, what were they like at Christmas time? I imagine they were like all of our mothers and dads, worked a lot and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Dad, well, the old story, they bought me an electric train. Dad played with it more than I did, you know? And,
Yes.
they were wonderful. I was so blessed. My parents and Doris's parents, my in-laws, were just wonderful, wonderful people. Christian people.
Okay.
Like I have said different times, they didn't go around beating people over the head with Bibles or anything like that.
No, but they knew what the true meaning was.
Yeah, they were church people, and they lived a Christian life. So, of course, Christmas was the high point
of the year.
You know? They loved it. Mother made clothes. She was a wonderful seamstress, and she made wonderful clothing for all of us. And they just got right into it. And I think Christmas ran from January to January for them. You know, they keep an eye open for things all year that they could get at Christmas time.
Exactly.
And,
so
it was wonderful.
You were mentioning the other day, and I would love to bring it up a topic, but we were mentioning when you were working, but you had mentioned that the boss had just come in and decided about the Happy Holiday thing. It was just coming into effect in the 80s.
Yes, that's right. And one of the guys just stood up and said, "The hell with that."
Exactly.
You know,
Merry Christmas or nothing.
And
that is a point I've always made on this show, our Christmas shows, to say Merry Christmas.
Well, people don't, they don't go to church.
Yes, that's true.
That's so sad. As you know, we played for hundreds of churches to try and keep them going, but I drive around the country now and I see little churches that are up for sale.
Or built into houses or what have you,
that side of it is sad. But there's where Christmas can rally you and say, look, okay, that's okay, but let's get going on this and be happy. That's what Christmas is all about,
Yes.
It's this guy, this poor little child that was born on Christmas Day, ended up doing more good than any man that ever lived.
The greatest man that ever lived, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you gotta, some people are down on Christian churches and stuff, but, they feed more people than dictators.
Yes, exactly. I agree, Tom. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, no, Christmas rules. Let's let on we're Ricky Skaggs,
Exactly, and what have you. Yes, exactly. Now, bringing up the topic of Ricky Skaggs, and of course that leads to Bill Monroe, but you also recorded a live version, I may say, of Christmas Time's A-Coming. It must be one of the biggest bluegrass songs of the era back then.
Yeah. Tex Logan was the guy that wrote that.
Okay.
Tex Logan. He was a fiddle player from Texas.
I see.
And worked with Bill at one time. And he also worked with the Lilly brothers, from the Boston area there.
Yes.
And he's a great bluegrass guy. Another song that he did was called Jordan Am a Hard Road to Travel. It's got a line, take off your coat, boys, and roll up your sleeves. Jordan Am a Hard Road to Travel, I believe.
I see, yes.
And it really means, if you're going to be a Christian, you got to work at it.
Exactly.
That applies to Christmas, too. You've got to work at it. Just forget about the commercialism and enjoy it. Well, I was just going to say, Winston Churchill came over to Washington, D.C. to talk to President Roosevelt around Christmas time in 1941, which was just after Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. And the whole world, that made a world war.
Yeah.
Churchill said, let's have Christmas. Let the children have their Christmas. And now, with the way things are going, the disturbances in the world and the craziness, let's cool it.
Exactly, I agree.
Have Christmas.
That's right, Tom.
And if just take a look at what Christmas means, we'll never go back to this silly knife and wonder.
Exactly, that's right. So how do you spend Christmas nowadays, Tom?
Well, I always have, since my wife died, God love her, which has been 14 years now.
Oh, wow.
I always spend Christmas with my brother Neil.
Okay.
And his family, because he lives right near me here. It's only a couple of blocks away. It's a good thing to cut down on driving and stuff around Christmas
Especially
time,
at Christmas time, yeah.
And they have family of his wife's people too. Both his sons are there with their families and his daughter, and we have a wonderful. That's where I always have Christmas dinner and stuff
Very
with them.
nice.
Yeah.
So it's still a family-oriented holiday for you.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh yes,
yes,
very
yes,
much
yes.
so. Yep. I have. I have a dozen places I could go.
Yes.
You know, it's funny that the people are always after me to come Christmas, and sometimes I'll make a point of getting to see these people sometime over Christmas.
Of course.
The Christmas day itself, I've always spent my brother since my wife died.
So I'm going to wrap up the interview for right now, but
Sure.
share with us a little bit of a lead into the Gather at the Manger song.
Well, it's about the fact that, to begin with, the angels called the shepherds to come to the manger, and they did. They you know, that's what happened. They all came there, and that's fine. Everybody was having a good time. But in the second verse, you're told that you have to remember that the story itself didn't have a happy ending.
That's true.
This guy was murdered by the local authorities who were appointed by the Roman Empire, and they couldn't stand to have, they thought he was just a rabble-rouser. Jesus was just, they put up, it was a very sad story.
Yes, for sure.
But we have to remember that,
that's the reason
earlier,
for the season.
Yeah,
yes,
that guy went ahead and he's outlived all of that.
Well, with that, we hope to do it again next year, as I will be down before Christmas to see you. But with from our listeners to you, Merry Christmas, Tom.
Well, the same to you, Johnny. God bless you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.